Okay, you're all set, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much. Welcome members of the public to the proposed amendment to the zoning bylaw meeting, Monday, June 22nd. Welcome members of staff. Sorry, I'm a little off kilter. I had to print a sheet of paper here. The meeting is open, and do we don't need a formal approval to open the meeting, Madam Clerk, just for clarification?
Yeah, we typically would ask for a mover and a seconder to call the meeting to order and approve the agenda and then to close the meeting.
Okay, thank you. May I have a mover and a seconder to open the meeting? Okay, moved by Councillor McDonnell, second by Councillor Jaworski. All those in favor? Motion is carried. May I get an approval of the agenda? Moved by Councillor McDonnell, second by Councillor Jaworski to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, I'll move on to item 4, presentations and delegations. Proposed amendment to United Counties of SD&G official plan. I'll hand that over to you, Ms. Haley.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I'm just going to share my screen. There we go. Can everyone see the title page?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is Joanne Haley, and for members of the public that are participating by Zoom or by phone, you will be permitted to speak following my presentation. Prior to speaking, please state your name and address for the record. To make a comment, please use the raise hand function and the chair will call on you. If you've registered to speak at the meeting by phone, you will be asked if you would comment after the presentation. So I'm now going to read some required reading under the Ontario Planning Act. This is a hearing under Section 22 of the Ontario Planning Act. Any person may attend this hearing and or make written or verbal representation either in support of or in opposition to the proposed, I'm sorry, that should say official plan amendment, I apologize. If a person or public body does not make oral or written submissions at this hearing before the official plan amendment is decided upon, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the council of the, it would be the township of, or excuse me, the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry to the Ontario Land Tribunal, also now known as OLT. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a hearing or make written submissions to the township of South Glengarry or the United Counties before the official plan amendment is decided upon, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the OLT unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so. So I apologize, just to be clear, this is an amendment to the official plan, not our zoning bylaw. So I'm just going to start off with some background information to help the members of the public understand what an official plan is and what the purpose of tonight's public meeting is. So an official plan is a planning document that describes the upper and lower tier municipal council's policies on how land in our community should be used. It is prepared with input from the community and helps to ensure that future planning and development will meet the specific needs of our community. An official plan deals mainly with issues such as where new housing, industry, offices, and shops will be located, what services like roads, water mains, sewers, parks, and schools will be needed, when and in what order parts of your community will grow, or community improvement initiatives. So South Glengarry's official plan. The United Counties of SD&G has an official plan which also serves as South Glengarry's official plan. SD&G is the approval authority for official plan amendments and municipal plan review and acts on behalf of the province to protect provincial interest and ensure local interests are reflected in land use planning decisions. So the purpose of the official plan amendment is to convert the employment district lands located in South Lancaster to commercial district lands, which will allow for more compatible land uses in the South Lancaster area. This is the key map of where all the properties that will be impacted. Right now, all the properties highlighted in blue on this map are currently designated employment district, and it is proposed that they will become commercial district if the amendment is approved. So what is an employment district designation in the official plan? What that means today is the employment district permits the following: a mix of industrial uses, transportation and distribution industries near transportation corridors, manufacturing, construction, warehousing, offices, employment supportive commercial uses, including associated retail, public service facilities, and institutional uses. Now I'm going to explain what a commercial district designation is in the official plan. The commercial district designation permits the following: commercial uses, residential, not standalone, mixed with commercial. So for example, you could have a commercial use on the main floor with a residential use on the upper floors or at the rear. It would permit resort commercial, personal service uses, and public service facilities and institutional uses, to name a few. So now I'm going to speak about the differences between the employment and commercial districts. When comparing the differences between the employment and the commercial district, it is obvious that the employment district is more industrial focused, with commercial uses ancillary to the employment/industrial uses. Class 2 and Class 3 industrial uses are not compatible with residential or sensitive land uses. There are many existing residential uses in the South Lancaster area, with the possibility of more to come with Karen View Estate subdivision. When we have an official plan amendment application, it must conform to the Provincial Policy Statement. The conversion of the employment district lands to a commercial district must be consistent with the Provincial Policy Statement 2020. Prior to 2020, employment areas could only be converted to non-employment uses through a comprehensive review. PPS Policy 1.3.2.5, which was approved in May 1st, 2020, now permits discrete employment area conversions, provided an area has not been identified as provincially significant through a provincial plan exercise or as regionally significant by a regional economic development corporation. We must also prove that there is an identified need for the conversion and the land is not required for employment purposes over the long term. The proposed uses would not adversely affect the overall viability of the employment area, and existing or planned infrastructure and public service facilities are available to accommodate the proposed uses. In the Lancaster Employment District area, it is neither provincially significant or regionally significant. Therefore, this proposed amendment is consistent with the Provincial Policy Statement. So here's our next steps. We ask the members of the public to provide their comments in writing by Friday, June 25th. A staff report will be brought to council in the future, recommending this amendment to be approved by the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry. And if you wish to be notified of the decision of SDNG, you can file a written request to Peter Young, who's the Director of Planning, at pyoung@sdgcounties.ca. Also, for any members of the public who are listening, you're welcome to reach out to myself or Clerk Kelly Compo, and we can guide you in terms of how you can file your comments in writing and file your request with the United Counties. And that's all I have this evening for my presentation, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Haley. It seems logical to me. Are there any other comments or questions from members of the council? Through Councillor McDonnell.
Through you, Mr. Chair. No, I think this seems logical and it seems to put us on the right track. It'll be with the housing shortage, as you know, Mr. Deputy Mayor, with the in the area. Be great if maybe some of this turned into residential buildings or residential homes. So I think it puts the township on the right track.
I concur with that. Are there any other comments from the members of the committee? Councillor Jaworski.
Councillor McDonnell made some very good points there. That and just to elaborate on that in terms of the sensitive uses and what is compatible with what is in that location and then surrounding that location. It seems like this would be moving us in a much more compatible direction. And like Councillor McDonnell said, we are experiencing quite a housing shortage, particularly when it comes to smaller residences. Things that might potentially could be more affordable, and this could potentially perhaps fit into that mix of housing opportunities in our area. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so I have a member of the public with their hand up. Go go ahead, Jacqueline, please state your name and address for the record and go ahead with your comments.
Okay, Jacqueline Milner, 19166 Hay Road. My apologies, I didn't get a good look at that map. I would just like to ensure that we're talking of property that is nowhere near provincially significant wetland of Cooper Marsh.
It's within the hamlet of South Lancaster. So I could say that it's quite a distance from the Cooper's Marsh, but I'll let Ms. Haley speak to that.
Through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, it is nowhere near Cooper's Marsh, and there is no provincially significant wetland designation in the area that we're discussing this evening.
Was that your only question or comment, Ms. Milner?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that concludes our meeting for this evening. Unless I see Bruce Monroe's attending, but I don't see his hand up. So I'm assuming he was just listening in. That being said, I guess we will move to adjourn the meeting. Moved by Councillor McDonnell, second by Councillor Lang. All those in favor? Motion is carried. Meeting is adjourned at 6:11 p.m. Thank you all for attending, and we will see you at 7 o'clock for our regular council.